What if I told you that some of the habits you've had for decades, the ones that feel completely normal, could actually be sabotaging your health from the inside out? And the worst part, you probably don't even realize it's happening. For men over 60, there's often a silent enemy at work, not a disease, not genetics, but routine. Simple daily behaviors we never question, slowly chipping away at our energy performance and emotional well-being. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 of the most common and most overlooked mistakes men make as they get older. These aren't just random tips. These are habits that might be dulling your senses, weakening your connection with your own body, and quietly reducing your quality of life. But don't worry, this isn't about guilt or shame. It's about awareness and reclaiming control. The truth is, it's never too late to change course. And when we get to mistake number 6, believe me, you'll understand just how powerful even one small shift can be. Let's get into it. 1. Over-relying on pornography. Let's start with one of the most common, yet most misunderstood habits, using pornography as your primary form of stimulation. Now I've talked with many men in their 60s and 70s. Guys who've lived full lives, stayed active, and still feel young at heart. And yet they often come to me saying, "Something just feels off. I don't feel the way I used to." Here's the thing. This isn't just aging. It's overstimulation. As we get older, our brain's dopamine system, the part responsible for motivation, reward, and pleasure, becomes less sensitive. It doesn't fire off as easily or recover as quickly. So when you expose it over and over to high-intensity, fast-paced sexual content, it becomes overwhelmed. Pornography delivers an unnatural flood of dopamine. At first it feels exciting, even addictive. But over time, the brain adapts. It starts to dull the response, a process known as desensitization. And what happens then? Real-life intimacy begins to lose its spark. Things that once felt emotionally deep and physically gratifying start to feel muted. It's not that your body is broken, it's that your brain is fatigued. It's experiencing something called dopamine burnout. The irony. Most men chalk this up to just getting older. But often it's not age, it's an overexposure to digital stimulation. If you've noticed less connection during intimacy, or a lack of emotional engagement, don't panic. This is reversible. By cutting back on artificial stimulation and retraining your brain through real-world connection, you can restore sensitivity and experience intimacy in a deeper, more satisfying way. 2. Masturbating while sitting on the toilet. Now, let's move on to a habit that might seem completely harmless, but could be silently damaging your prostate health over time: masturbating while sitting on the toilet. I know the bathroom feels private. It's quiet. It's your moment of peace. But here's the hidden danger: that seated, hunched position reduces blood flow to your pelvic region. And poor circulation down there is a bigger deal than most men realize. When you're seated for too long, especially in a strained posture, your pelvic floor muscles become compressed. This puts unnecessary pressure on your prostate and bladder. Over time, this pressure can lead to inflammation, pelvic pain, or urinary problems. In fact, studies have linked prolonged sitting with conditions like prostate swelling, urinary retention, and even erectile dysfunction. So what's the fix? It's easier than you think. Change your position. Stand up. Lie down. Recline. Give your pelvic area space to breathe and circulate. This simple shift can dramatically improve blood flow and reduce the physical stress on your lower body. It's a small adjustment, but it can have a big impact on your long-term sexual and urinary health. 3. Rushing the experience. Here's one I hear all the time, often said with a sheepish laugh: "Doc, I just want to get it done and go to sleep." But rushing through intimate experiences isn't just a missed opportunity, it's actually harming your body's natural rhythm. When you treat sex like a task instead of an experience, You put your nervous system in fight or flight mode. Your heart rate spikes, your blood vessels tighten, and your body goes into a mild state of stress. And after 60, your system doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Instead of feeling relaxed, connected, and satisfied, you're left feeling flat, or worse, anxious and disconnected. Now contrast that with what happens when you slow down. When you're present, when you breathe deeply and let the experience unfold naturally, your body rewards you. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and dopamine, the pleasure chemical. These aren't just feel-good hormones. They actively reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve mood. So next time, take your time. Be mindful. Allow space for emotional connection and physical enjoyment. Because when you slow down, everything becomes more satisfying, not just in the moment, but in your overall health and well-being. 4. Ignoring the pelvic floor. Let's talk about one of the most overlooked parts of a man's body, the pelvic floor. These deep muscles sit at the base of your pelvis, supporting everything from your bladder to your sexual organs. But as we age, especially if we spend hours sitting every day, these muscles can weaken. And when the pelvic floor is weak, it doesn't just affect your gym performance, it impacts your life. We're talking urinary incontinence, erectile dysfunction, and decreased sensitivity. I once worked with a retired athlete in his late 60s. This man was disciplined, strong, and dedicated. He told me, "I'm still lifting weights, eating right, doing everything I used to do, but something's not working." The issue. His pelvic floor was weak from years of neglect. The good news, you can rebuild it. Just like any other muscle, your pelvic floor responds to training. Simple exercises like Kegel's deep breathing and mindful core engagement can strengthen this foundation and dramatically improve both sexual function and bladder control. Don't overlook it. Your pelvic floor could be the missing link to reclaiming energy control and confidence in your daily life. So we just talked about the pelvic floor, a hidden powerhouse that plays a bigger role in male health than most people realize. The good news, you can strengthen it no matter your age, and the impact can be life-changing. Strengthening your foundation. It starts with something incredibly simple, something you can do right now, wherever you are. Imagine the muscles you'd tighten if you needed to stop urinating midstream. That subtle contraction. That's your pelvic floor at work. By consistently practicing this type of muscle engagement, also known as Kegel exercises, you can gradually rebuild pelvic strength. Just a few minutes a day can lead to noticeable improvements in bladder control, sexual performance, and even self-confidence. Think of it like tuning an instrument when the tension is just right. Everything works in harmony. 5. Too much or too little frequency. Let's move on to something many men wrestle with silently. How often should you engage in sexual activity or self-pleasure? Some men feel ashamed for doing it too frequently, as if they're being too much at their age. Others go weeks or even months without any release, feeling emotionally distant or physically numb. But here's the truth. Both extremes can lead to problems. When it happens too often, especially out of boredom or habit, it can leave you feeling drained. Your energy dips, your prostate may become irritated, and emotionally, it can feel like something is missing. That sense of satisfaction fades, leaving you more tired than fulfilled. But going too long without any stimulation, that brings its own risks. The body needs stimulation to maintain healthy blood flow and hormone levels. Without it, you can experience reduced desire, erectile difficulty, and even tissue atrophy over time. It's like a muscle that isn't used, it gradually weakens. So, what's the sweet spot? For most men over 60, a rhythm of once or twice a week hits the balance just right. It keeps your system functioning, maintains emotional connection, and allows your body to recover without becoming depleted. But the key here is listening to your body, your energy, and your needs. Let those guide you. not guilt or outdated expectations. 6. Using too much pressure. Here's a mistake many men make without even realizing it, especially as they try to recapture lost sensation using too much pressure during self-pleasure. It's a natural reaction. As sensitivity decreases with age, the instinct is to grip harder, press firmer, or move faster. But this actually has the opposite effect. It causes physical damage. Too much pressure can create micro tears in the delicate tissue, reducing elasticity. Over time, scar tissue can form, altering the shape of the penis and making it harder to feel stimulation. You might even experience discomfort during intimacy, not realizing that the root cause is years of over-gripping. Think of it like overusing a fragile piece of leather. The more you stretch and stress it without care, the more it hardens and loses its suppleness. So what's the answer? Gentleness. A lighter, more mindful touch not only prevents damage, but actually helps restore sensitivity over time. Let go of the urge to push harder. Tune into the subtler sensations. You may be surprised how much more fulfilling the experience becomes when you're not fighting against your own body. 7. Masturbating without emotional connection. And now the final mistake, one of the most quietly damaging of them all, treating self-pleasure as purely mechanical, disconnected from emotion. This tends to happen gradually. Over time, many men start going through the motions, no intention, no feeling, just a quick release. It becomes routine. Empty. But research tells us that emotional connection isn't just a nice-to-have. It's essential for triggering the brain's healing chemicals. When you engage in self-intimacy with intention, your brain releases oxytocin and dopamine, two powerful hormones that promote bonding, reduce stress, and enhance emotional well-being. But when you're emotionally checked out, you miss that entire wave of neurochemical benefits. You might still climax, but the experience feels flat, almost robotic. The afterglow, nowhere to be found. The solution. Slow down and reconnect. Approach the moment with presence, not urgency. Allow yourself to feel not just physically, but emotionally. What do you need in that moment? Comfort, closeness, a sense of peace. You deserve to honor those needs, not ignore them. Closing thoughts, a powerful reminder. Let's take a moment to reflect. These 7 mistakes. They're not about age, they're about habits, little things we've picked up along the way that slowly erode our vitality. The beautiful truth is you can change these habits. You can reconnect with your body. You can rediscover pleasure, energy, and confidence even now, especially now. Start small. Be kind to yourself. Approach your body not with judgment, but with care. You're not broken. You're evolving. And there is so much more ahead of you. If this video gave you something to think about, or better yet, something to feel, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more real, relatable content made just for you. Your health, your intimacy, your joy, they're not behind you. They're just beginning.